Welcome to China in Focus. I'm your host, Tiffany Meyer. For the past 4 days, Wuhan has reported 0 new confirmed cases of the CCP virus. But one resident in Wuhan told us in 2 communities in his residential area there were confirmed cases, but no one is allowed to report them. The person added anyone who tries to report it has to bear the responsibility, so people stay quiet. He believes the only way to change the status quo is when the communist regime collapses, because he said the Chinese people are now so brainwashed that it goes beyond the imagination of people outside. In recent days, some residential blocks in Wuhan canceled the lockdown, and then they were put on lockdown again. In some residential blocks, announcements were posted about confirmed cases there and reminded residents to be careful.
医疗队员要走，湖北省这边要他们继续留下来，因为有很多复发了，3个门诊现在是没有收的，他还是往那个方舱专门有医院治疗的，又在搞一些方舱医院。
政府的强力管控呢，不管人的生存权，发热的病人，他是被控制的对象，而不是一个被治疗的对象。他其实更像是一个对待敌人的方式，他不是对待病人的方式。医院外面都是有很多警察的。
So what's the reason behind this? Our source told us Wuhan authorities said all state-owned enterprises can only resume work after 14 consecutive days of 0 cases. People are complying so that work can resume regardless of what the actual situation is. In China, blood tests were fast, with results available after 15 minutes and cheap, costing under 300 yuan, which is around $40. It was also proven to have a high accuracy rate, but suddenly several hospitals in Wuhan stopped doing them in recent days. A doctor in Wuhan told his friends it's no longer a medical issue, but rather a political one. Will patients who test positive again after having been released from hospital be counted as new confirmed cases? According to the vice head of CDC in Hubei province, these people will not be counted again. So that means even if people do test positive, the new cases can still remain 0. According to a March 22nd report from South China Morning Post, confidential government documents revealed over 43,000 asymptomatic patients infected with the CCP virus in China, but they were not counted in the official numbers. A professor of infectious epidemiology at Hokkaido University in Japan found in his research that about 30% of patients diagnosed with the CCP virus were asymptomatic. The World Health Organization classifies all people who test positive as confirmed cases, whether or not they show any symptoms. South Korea does the same, but on January 29th, China's National Health Commission made it clear in a classification that patients will now be divided into suspicious, confirmed, and positive cases. And patients with light or no symptoms will be reported as positive cases, but will not be included in confirmed cases. But studies in Germany, the Netherlands, Canada, and others have found these asymptomatic patients can still spread the virus, so why not count them? And it seems the Chinese communist regime is spreading hate propaganda against Japan and the U.S. A photo circulating online of a banner which read, "Congratulations to the U.S. epidemic," and wished the Japanese epidemic a smooth sailing. It was posted on a storefront in Liaoning province, which is located in northeastern China, bordering North Korea and the Yellow Sea. The banner has already been taken down, and local police say they are investigating the incident. Some people on the internet are agreeing with the banner's sentiments, while others are criticizing the shop for being insensitive and promoting humanity's annihilation. China reports a 21 million drop in mobile users for the past 3 months. What does the drastic drop mean? An expert says virus deaths might have contributed to account closings. NTD's Juliet Song has the details.
China has lost over 21 million mobile users in the last 3 months. The sharp decline is unusual as Chinese use their phones for pretty much everything.
Cell phones are an indispensable part of life. Only in extreme circumstances would people stop using their cell phones.
Chinese use phones for everything from cashless payments for just about anything to paying rent and transport. But in January and February, 3 Chinese mobile carriers saw a sharp decline in users. Users increased during the same period in 2019, 2018, and 2017.
It can be said without a doubt that the over 21 million drop in user numbers is related to the CCP virus outbreak.
Tong says virus deaths might have contributed to the count. An insider working in China's telecom industry told him that the lost users all met a specific criteria. The accounts they used required no minimum spending and had zero spending activity for the past month. According to the insider, accounts that require no minimum spending make up about 5% of China's total mobile users. Owners of these accounts tend to be in low-income groups in China's Midwest area. Many are migrant workers and college students. China has over 280 million migrant workers and 28 million college students. Assuming that about 5% of them have such accounts and stopped using their cell phones, that's about 15 million. There's still a 6 million gap that can't be explained.
I speculate hundreds of thousands or perhaps a million Chinese people have died from the CCP virus. Of course, there will be no account activities after the death, which contributed to the sharp drop in numbers.
Days after the data was released, China's top anti-corruption organ announced changes for the three major Chinese carriers. Authorities said the service options were too complex and needed to be refined. But Tong says the data reflects to a certain extent the casualties and economic impact brought by the virus. He said it's likely the Chinese authorities are using the new changes as a cover. Reporting by Juliet Song, NTD News, New York.